Our world runs on energy. This picture from space shows Earth at night. See all those lights? That is energy at work. We need energy to power vehicles, run machines and appliances, and cool and warm our homes and other buildings. All this energy comes from Earth's many resources, which are divided into two groups: renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are those that can be replaced in a fairly short period of time or do not really get used up, like the sun, wind, water, and the heat inside Earth. Non-renewable resources, on the other hand, cannot be replaced. The most common forms of non-renewable resources are coal, oil, and gas, which are known as fossil fuels. They were created millions of years ago, and some of them have been used to produce energy for hundreds of years. But their supplies are limited, and if people go on using them, sooner or later, these resources will be exhausted. That is one of the biggest concerns about the continued use of fossil fuels, and one of the major reasons why scientists and engineers are working to harness the power of renewable resources to produce energy. But that is not the only reason. When fossil fuels are burned to produce energy, they release carbon dioxide and other harmful chemicals and particles into the air. These pollutants are bad for the health of people, animals, and even plants. There is also scientific evidence that the emissions from fossil fuels contribute to climate change, which is believed to be responsible for changing weather patterns and melting glaciers and ice at the North and South Poles. Here is another disadvantage of using fossil fuels. They must be removed from Earth through mining or drilling operations and transported to the refineries and plants where they can be turned into energy. Oil spills from drilling operations, broken pipelines, and leaking tanker ships can seriously damage the land, water, and wildlife. For example, in 2010, an offshore oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico exploded and sank. Oil began spilling into the Gulf from the wellhead on the ocean floor, more than 5,000 feet deep. By the time it could be stopped 87 days later, hundreds of millions of liters of crude oil had been released into the ocean. Scientists estimated that in the first 6 months after the disaster, 8,000 birds, turtles, dolphins, and other creatures were killed, including many on the endangered species list. Extracting coal from Earth does not cause the kind of damage huge oil spills do, but coal mining still has a negative impact on the environment. Underground mining, in which tunnels are dug deep into Earth, can affect the stability of the land above the mine, release methane and other harmful gases into the atmosphere, and affect water supplies. Strip mining, in which coal near the surface of the land is removed, can leave the land scarred and barren, causing water pollution, damaging plant and animal life, and resulting in soil erosion. Renewable energy resources eliminate problems like these, and that is one reason support for their use has been growing in recent years. But producing energy from renewable resources has drawbacks too. Take solar power, for example. The panels that turn sunlight into electricity do not cause air pollution, but they do take up space. And the number of panels it takes to produce enough power for even a small city of homes and businesses can take up a lot of space. This is land that is no longer available for wildlife or other uses. And while some people may think solar panels are a thing of beauty, to other people they are an enormous eyesore that detracts from Earth's natural splendor. Some of the same things can be said about those huge windmills on electricity-producing wind farms. The giant wind turbines can also produce a good deal of noise pollution in the vicinity of the farms. Worse yet, the wind turbines pose a real danger to bird life. It is estimated that between 140,000 and 328,000 birds are killed each year in collisions with wind turbines. And sometimes, the best location for wind farms is right in the path of bird migration routes. You might think using flowing water to produce electricity would be problem-free, but not necessarily. Hydroelectric plants often involve the damming of rivers, which can change their natural flow and be harmful to fish and other wildlife. There are arguments for and against both renewable and non-renewable energy resources. But whichever we may think is better, we should pay attention to how our use of energy affects the environment and what its impact will be on future generations. Many people believe the answer is energy conservation, which means using no more energy than necessary, and developing energy-efficient appliances and vehicles that get the most out of the energy they use. Be aware of the things around you that use energy. Is it renewable or non-renewable? What ideas do you have to conserve energy? And how do you think we can balance our need for energy with our need for clean air and a healthy planet?